I am Mo3, and if you're hearing my story, you're about to dive into my final hours, my last moments on this earth. Born Melvin Noble, I grew up in Dallas, Texas, where music and street life were intertwined from the very beginning. I loved my city, but it was also a place that demanded toughness and resilience. My life was a constant hustle, a series of battles to carve out my space in the rap game and the streets. On my last day, November 11th, 2020, it was just another day in the life of Mo3. I woke up early, feeling a mix of determination and a little bit of dread. I had been working hard, pushing my music, my name, my brand, but the tension in my life had been rising. I knew I had enemies, but that was part of the game. You rise, you make noise, and you make people uncomfortable. It's just the way it is. I started my morning as usual, checking in with my team, making sure everything was in place for the day. I had been putting in a lot of hours in the studio, and I had plans to keep that momentum going. Music was my passion, my escape, and my weapon. It was how I fought back against the struggles of my life. I believed in my talent, and I knew I was on the brink of something big. As the day progressed, I went about my business. Dallas was my home, but it could also feel like a battlefield. You had to stay alert, keep your head on a swivel. I spent time with some close friends, people I trusted. We talked about music, life, and the future. It felt good to be surrounded by people who had my back, but there was always that underlying sense of danger. In the afternoon, I decided to run some errands. I was on Interstate 35, just trying to handle my business, when I felt that all too familiar feeling of being watched. You know, that instinct that tells you something's not right. I noticed a car following me. My heart started pounding, adrenaline kicking in. I knew this feeling well. It was the kind of thing that happened when you live the life I did. I tried to shake them, but they were persistent. My mind raced as I thought about what to do next. I wasn't afraid to face my enemies, but this wasn't the way I wanted it to go down. I was still on the freeway when it happened. They pulled up alongside me and opened fire. The sound of gunshots filled the air, and I felt the impact as the bullets hit me. I lost control of my car and crashed. My mind was spinning, my body in pain, but I managed to get out and try to run. I didn't get far before I collapsed. As I lay there on the pavement, my life flashing before my eyes, I thought about my family, my kids, and all the people I loved. I thought about the music I had yet to make, the dreams I had yet to fulfill. People started gathering around, some trying to help, others just watching. I could hear sirens in the distance, but I knew it was too late. My vision blurred, and everything started to fade. In those last moments, I felt a strange sense of peace. I had lived a hard life, but I had also lived a full one. I had made my mark, and I knew my music would live on. I am Mo3, and my story is one of struggle, talent, and determination. I came from nothing and built something real, something that would outlive me. My last 24 hours were a testament to the life I led, one filled with highs and lows, love and pain, triumph and tragedy. As I took my final breaths, I knew I had given it my all, and that's all anyone can do. My music, my legacy, it's all out there for the world to remember. So, when you listen to my tracks, know that they come from a place of raw, unfiltered truth. I am Mo3. And as I lay there, I thought about how I got to this point. My journey started in Dallas, where I grew up surrounded by challenges. My mom raised me on her own, and I saw her struggle every day to make ends meet. I learned early on that nothing in life comes easy. You have to fight for every inch, every opportunity. Music was my refuge. It was where I could express everything I felt, everything I saw, everything I dreamed. My first real break came when I dropped Hold Your Tongue in 2014. That track put me on the map in Dallas, and from there, I just kept grinding. I poured my heart and soul into every song. Tracks like All the Way Down and Everybody showcased my raw style, my ability to tell stories that resonated with people who lived like I did, who struggled like I did. I wasn't just making music, I was speaking for a whole community. But with success came the dangers. The streets don't like to see you rise without pushing back. I had my share of beefs, and it was always real. This wasn't just rap, it was life. The jealousy, the envy, it all came with the territory. I never backed down, though. I knew who I was, and I wasn't about to let anyone take that away from me. That day, I thought about my kids. My three beautiful children were my world. I wanted to give them everything I didn't have growing up. I wanted to be there for them, to guide them, to see them grow. It hurt knowing that I might not get that chance. But I hoped that my legacy, my music, would provide for them and inspire them to chase their dreams, no matter the odds. In my final hours, I reflected on the music I created. Songs like Broken Love and I were deeply personal. They were my truth, my experiences laid bare for everyone to see. Collaborating with Boozy Badass on Everybody Remix was a milestone. Boozy was someone I looked up to, and working with him was a validation of my talent and my hustle. I thought about the fans. My fans were everything to me. They lifted me up when times were tough, and they celebrated my successes with me. Every show, every meet and greet, every time someone told me how my music touched their life, it meant the world to me. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless, a beacon of hope for those who felt like they were stuck in the darkness. As I lay there, I also thought about the people I lost. Friends and family who didn't make it, who fell victim to the same streets that were now claiming me. Their memories flashed before my eyes, and I felt a deep sense of sadness and regret, but also a sense of solidarity. We were all part of the same struggle, the same fight. The sirens grew louder, and I felt my consciousness slipping. The pain was overwhelming, but so was the clarity. In those moments, everything became crystal clear. Life is fragile, precious, and fleeting. We often take it for granted, caught up in the hustle, the grind, the battles. But in the end, it's the love we give and receive, the impact we make, and the legacy we leave behind that truly matter. I thought about the music I still wanted to make. There were so many stories left untold, so many beats I wanted to ride, so many lyrics I wanted to spit. I wanted to push the boundaries, explore new sounds, and reach new heights. My creativity was a fire that burned bright, and I hated that it was being extinguished too soon. I hoped that people would remember me not just for my death, but for my life. I wanted them to see the young man who defied the odds, who rose from the bottom to make a name for himself. I wanted them to see the artist who poured his heart into his craft, who spoke his truth no matter the consequences. I wanted them to see the father who loved his kids more than anything, who wanted to give them a better life. In my final moments, I found a strange peace. I had lived a life full of challenges, but also full of achievements. I had loved deeply and been loved in return. I had made my mark on the world, and I knew my music would live on long after I was gone. It was a bittersweet realization, but it was also comforting. As everything faded to black, I made one last silent promise to myself, to watch over my family, to guide them from wherever I was going, and to inspire them to keep pushing, keep striving, and keep believing. I hoped that my story, my music, would be a source of strength for them and for everyone who needed it. I am Mo3. My journey on this earth has come to an end, but my spirit, my voice, my legacy will live on. In every beat, in every lyric, in every heart that my music touches, I will be there. This is my story, my last 24 hours. Remember me for who I was, for what I stood for, and for the music that will forever carry my soul. I come from the gritty streets of North Dallas, Texas. Born Melvin Noble, my upbringing was far from easy. I knew this feeling well. It was the kind of thing that happened when you lived the life I did. I tried to shake them, but they were persistent. My mind raced as I thought about what to do next. I wasn't afraid to face my enemies, but this wasn't the way I wanted it to go down. I was still on the freeway when it happened. They pulled up alongside me and opened fire. The sound of gunshots filled the air, and I felt the impact as the bullets hit me. I lost control of my car and crashed. My mind was spinning, my body in pain, but I managed to get out and try to run. I didn't get far before I collapsed. As I lay there on the pavement, my life flashing before my eyes, I thought about my family, my kids, and all the people I loved. I thought about the music I had yet to make, the dreams I had yet to fulfill. People started gathering around, some trying to help, others just watching. I could hear sirens in the distance, but I knew it was too late.